Hey viewers, tonight I'm going to show you how to connect and adjust one of these vintage Campagnolo push rod type front derailleurs. They work different than the more current derailleurs with the little swing arm that swings out. This has a little push rod that actually pushes the cage directly out like that. There's a couple models that do this. It's the Valentino and the Gran Sport. This is a Valentino, but the Gran Sport is pretty much identical, just a little nicer than this, and the process is the same between the two. Anyway, I'm going to show you how to do that. I've installed a brand new cable into the shift lever for the front derailleur, this one right here, and I'm going to have this all the way pushed forward like this. Now route the cable however it's supposed to be for your particular bike. There might be a little cable housing that comes up under here like this. This has a couple little guides under here, but the cable needs to come up through this little bottom part right here. So I'm just going to slide this up through here like this. I'm going to take all the slack out of the cable, slide it up into this little cable clamp right here, and then I'm going to tighten down this cable clamp right here like this, like that. And so you don't want any slack in the cable there, but you don't need to pull it down, so tight to where it's pulling the thing down. You just want it so that there's not any slack in the cable. Next, I want to shift the chain onto the biggest cog in the back, like that. Next, I need to adjust the cage for the low gear here. On the Valentino, there's a little clamp bolt for right here. On the Gran Sport, it's on the top. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen this, and this will allow me to slide the cage on this push rod here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this to where there's only like a millimeter or two space between the chain and the inside part of the cage there. The part of the cage that's closest to the derailleur body there. And what I also want to do is have it so that the cage parallels or follows the line of this big chain ring there. And so when I get this in place, I'm going to tighten this little clamp bolt there, and I can adjust it, just get it to where I want it to be. Get it in position there, all lined up with the big chain ring there, and have the spacing right there. And then I'm going to tighten this down like that. And this will clamp the cage right onto that little push rod there. Next, I'm going to shift the rear derailleur down to the smallest cog, like that. Next, I want to adjust for the big chain ring here, the high gear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pedal here and then just shift slowly with the shifter there, just so it goes up to the big chain ring there. And now this here is the high limiting screw. And so what I want to do is have it so that the outside of the cage here is just within maybe like a millimeter or two of the chain here, so that the chain is not touching on there. And so what I'll do is I'm going to tighten this screw down like this. And then what I can do is I can test, shift back down. I want to make sure that it goes down to the small chain ring there. And then I can shift back up to the big chain ring there. And I want to make sure that it doesn't come off. Now once you get it adjusted, if it doesn't quite push the chain back down to the small chain ring there, then what you're going to do is loosen the cage and move it back in a little bit, and then you have to readjust the high limiting screw there, let it out and readjust that. If it doesn't quite push it up to the big chain ring, then you probably want to let this out a little bit so it can push it just a little bit farther. If it pushes it into where it comes off of there, then you want to probably tighten that back down. So those are basically how you adjust this thing, is by loosening the cage and sliding it in and out for the low gear, and for the high gear they use this limiting screw. Between the two is how you get this thing adjusted. So once you get it adjusted, then go ahead and test it, make sure that it works in various gearing combinations. Like that. Now all I need to do is cut the cable, cap it off, and I'm done. So that is how to connect and adjust one of these vintage Campagnolo pushrod type derailleurs. Hope you found this useful or interesting. If you did, please click like on my video. I always appreciate getting likes on my videos. It helps me out. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, click the big subscribe button and you'll see new videos that come out. And I'm always coming out with new videos. And I'm also over on Facebook, RJ the Bike Guy. Go over there, like my page. I post a lot of stuff over there as well. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.